Welcome to Humorist Hangouts. I'm Marty Dundix, editor-in-chief of Weekly Humorous magazine, and this is Humorist Hangouts, a fun little place where professionally funny people can come and talk about this week's issue of Weekly Humorous magazine. And I'm so happy that I have the people I have on today. We have a comedy panel of Jason Chatfield and Kit Lively, and we're going to welcome them to the show. Hey, guys, how are you? Thanks for being on Humorist Hangouts.
Hello, welcome. Why would I say welcome? It's good to be here. This is me being socially awkward, having been cooped up for months.
We're all just trying. We're all just trying. It's fine. You just had to. You're just coming off. It's Monday. You're coming off your Scotch Bath Sunday, as we all know, Jason. Legendary Scotch Bath Sunday, where Jason gets all of his work done for the entire week.
Yeah.
That's trademarked, I believe. Is that trademarked? Scotch Bath?
Oh yeah, that's definitely trademarked. Yeah, I run a bath. I pour a bath. I pour a Scotch. I do it on a Sunday, and I sit in there and I'll write jokes and I'll write comic strips and gag cartoons and all kinds of things until I'm well and wrinkly.
I just had vodka enema Monday. That always works out very well, as you can see.
Is that trademarked? That's definitely trademarked.
Trademarked. That I don't think you have to worry about that being trademarked, but
Anymore.
but maybe. Let's go through the Weekly Humorist issue for this week, and then we'll get back to all the things that we're working on. So this week, on the Big Friday Funnies that came out, that you all read apparently, Kit and Jason, you were absorbing the Friday Funnies that came out. It was a very good issue this week. We started out with something by Ali Solomon, who's a very funny cartoonist.
Which is great, yeah.
And this is the Rockefeller Christmas tree. And the Rockefeller Christmas tree's parents are in town and are coming to visit. And they say, "Of course we're proud, sweetie. I'm just saying this would have been even more impressive with an audience."
Yeah.
Lane Unsworth, who's a new writer out of California. She's a comedian and writer. She writes, "Grandma got run over by a reindeer and other family mishaps that ruined the holidays. Cousin Gilroy got mugged by 8 maids of milking, and brother-in-law Greg got visited by 3 Tom Hankses of Polar Express's past," and more. 10 holiday gift ideas that capture the essence of 2020 by Hannah Benson. Keys to a new car that has been missing for weeks. This one will be really good if we can just find this brand spanking new Porsche. It's out there, right? It's not out there. It's not out there. And Hannah Benson is a new comedy writer who's actually very popular on Instagram videos. So she's been featured a lot for her Instagram videos. So
Cool.
Go on IG and find her, because I don't know what her handle is. It's something cool, and there's Z's in it, and I can't remember.
I guess Han Benz.
Is it?
Yeah.
Jason Chatfield for the win. Thank you with the research.
Yes, most impressive.
We've got, this is someone that I think Kit's a big fan of. Kit is a Jeff Cruz fan. Do you know Jeff Cruz, Jason? He was a Mad Magazine writer for a long time.
Yeah, for sure.
He's a man. He seems to be very funny guy though.
This is 5 Christmas song characters you've never heard of. Jingling Jana from 2004, the phrase "give me a Jan and a jiggle jiggle all day" is repeated constantly in this poignant song of an NBA cheerleader who tries to provide comfort to players who have a game on the 25th of December and are missing their families. Released on the poorly selling album An Emo Rap Yuletide. There's a couple in here that are, I was a little bit, is this going to get me in trouble? You never know. But Jeff Cruz, very funny. Vaughn Tomlinson is a cartoonist out of Brooklyn. And his stuff's all up at Cartoon Collections. Very funny. And this is a Elvis cartoon, which is great. It says, "Elves, Jerry. I asked for elves," with the Santa calling on his cell phone. And the Elvis is shaking it for the kids and parents in the back there. Very funny. Love the Elvis cartoons anytime you see them. This is an article for immediate release. Who will receive the Pfizer COVID vaccine in order of priority by Eli Kaplan and Henry Block. These are 2 writers out of Brown University. Number 29, anti-maskers, people who jeopardize the public safety by refusing to wear a mask, Number 30, anti-maskers, people who jeopardize a good time by refusing to watch Fox's The Masked Singer. And this one, to wrap it up, is what would have happened in the cue card scene from Love Actually if Peter had opened the door, by Michael Leonetti. This is the scene in Love Actually, remember? And he opens, and he has the cue cards, and it's the girl that he's in love with, but she's married to his best friend, and he does the whole cue card thing, and then that actor becomes this hardened ass kicker in The Walking Dead, and you can't even believe it. So it says next, first cue card, hey dude, what's up? Next cue card, thinking about getting a new car. Next cue card, pictures of Ford Puma, Ford Focus, Ford Fiesta, and more. And that's a really funny piece that kind of goes on, and it gets very detailed. This is a great cartoon by Jake Goldwasser. Do you guys know Jake? He's a cartoonist. I feel like you all have to know each other in this club, in the world of cartoonists.
I actually really love this cartoon in particular.
Yeah, this is really simple. It's a muffin. Yeah. It's a depression, and then a muffin with coffee is anxiety, and it's just it's a perfect joke. It's very simple. It's great little drawing. Yeah. Very good. Great drawing by Jake Goldwasser there. So thank you, Jake. Mm-hmm. He's a very funny contributor. He sends great stuff in. Yeah. This is an ad for The Elements of Stress. This is Bob Eckstein and Michael Shaw's new book, which is very funny. And I have it. Hold on, let me hold it up. I have it right here.
And it's a calendar.
Nice.
Here it is. You got it. You got to get it. It's got 70 cartoons.
Calendar as well, yeah.
It's got all kinds of stuff. It's got words. It's got pictures. And that calendar, the calendar just came out today, just in time for it to be just too late to get in time for the holidays. But people get things in, and it's a calendar you can start in February. There's enough months. We had a great Talkward podcast with Jessica Delfino as a guest this week, so you got to listen to that. She's very funny. She has a joke book out that we put out, Dumb Jokes for Smart Folks, and we're giving one of those away with a joke contest. And this is our holiday, a horror movie. This is our hashtag game for this week. Night of the Living Gingerbread, The Hills Have Elves, Nightmare on Elf Street, and more holiday or horror movie. And those are really fun. Kit writes a lot of the best jokes when we play this game, and it's like they become like worldwide trending topics. This is the Humorist. This is an ad for the show that you're on right now, guys. This is very meta.
Whoa. Yeah. Inception.
It's like you're inside the email, but you're alive, talking to people.
Whoa.
Inside the email. And then we just have ads for products. There's a mug here that's called, it's the World Best Mug. And we sell that, and people buy it, like a lot. It's crazy. I have no idea how that happened, but people buy it. I believe it. And we sell issues of the Weekly Humorous magazine now, hard copies, which is a lot of fun. So that's the email for this week. That's the Weekly Humorous with lots of fun comedy. And now we have two wonderful comedy people on the panel here, Jason Chatfield and Kit Lively. Jason is also the president of the National Cartoonist Society, NCS.
Yeah, that's me.
Which is
I'm wearing my society shirt.
Nice. That was a good year, Portland.
That was a fun time. Yeah, that was a great one. I mean, from what I can remember.
And
bits and pieces.
So, Jason, tell us about the National Cartoonist Society and what's happening with them, and when's the next big Rubens? Is it going to be online?
It's a fluid conversation. I was just drafting an email tonight to everyone, basically trying to put into words the trickiness of it's like trying to shoot a moving target at this point. Even with a vaccine in play, it's going to be really tricky to have an in-person Rubens anywhere. So we're still trying to figure out the practicalities of doing a virtual one. And
I feel like this virtual stuff's been great. I like the online video stuff. You can do it in your underpants. You get to talk to people, and then you get to just turn it off and go home, or you can put people on mute. I'm sure lots of people...
Yeah, but you obviously haven't been to a regular Rubens, because we do that in our underpants, and it's fine.
I've seen some great photos from Kit. You guys... I've seen great tuxedo photos, lots of tuxedo photos of the Rubens, of Rubens past. You see people that don't usually wear pants, and now they're wearing formal wear, which I always think is quite a leap, but a lot of fun.
Yeah, a lot of rented tuxes.
A lot of rented tuxes.
None of us own any tuxes.
Yeah.
So Jason you do a bunch of your artwork on Sundays for the Ginger Megs comic, which you are the cartoonist of, and you do all the writing and all that's coming out, and that's a lot of work. It's a syndicated cartoon strip. And your schedule for that is you have to get a lot of stuff in before the holiday shutdown.
Yes. Yeah, it's tricky because the syndicate shuts down over the next 2 weeks, and so I have to send them 2 weeks worth of strips at the busiest time of year. And it's tricky. It's this time of year, and it always snowballs. I've been doing it for 13 years, and every year I say to myself, I'm going to get really organized this year, and I'm gonna get extra far ahead so that I'm not rushing in December, and it never happens. Never happens.
Never happens.
Yeah. So I have to do 6 dailies and a Sunday for every week of my life ever.
Do you find that the cartoon storylines during the holiday breaks where people are like rushing to get their stuff in, like they're all kind of like they're just kind of phoning it in for the it's like, oh, the family's just going to go on a vacation and that's it. Like you're just writing.
There's a few repeated premises, I'll give you that. But no, generally, and maybe the ink work isn't quite as intricate, but no, I mean, you think you can phone it in, and then you'll look at someone like Patrick McDonnell or someone and go, I can't. No, all right, I better do it. You
gotta get it in.
They guilt you,
yeah,
by virtue of their work being, that good. You go, damn it, all right, I'll do it.
And I love the fact that we still get cartoons in newspapers, and the syndicates exist, and like there's the color cartoons in the Sunday paper is still widely done worldwide. There's a lot of newspapers probably aren't doing it as much I feel like in New York City they don't do it as much in like the bigger papers, but then like smaller papers all do it, which I find interesting. Like you'll get like a New York Times or Washington Post. No, the Washington Post still does color cartoons on weekends, but the New York Times doesn't.
Good to know.
Yeah, and so does.
That is really well. The Times hasn't done cartoons in a long time, and they fired all their editorial cartoonists this year, or last year rather. So that's not good. But it is like the strip appears online now as well every day on gocomics.com, but then also it appears on Instagram every day, Twitter every day, Facebook every day. A lot of people only read it as a webcomic. They don't know that it's a nearly 100-year-old legacy strip that's been in newspapers, since 1921. So
yeah,
I think it just depends on who's reading it, where, and I guess the medium is not the medium; it's the message, as they say.
And then I have a photo up here I'm going to share so people can see of you hosting. This is on your Facebook. This is you hosting a Food Network show, Buddy vs. Christmas, that just was out. And this is you in front of the whole Christmas deal, and you have your Santa pin on and all this stuff. And you were hosting with Courtney Quinn. And it was you, and it was Buddy Valstrado. How do I say that? Valastro? Valastro. And that's a fun little special that you were hosting this TV show on Food Network. It's just very multi-talented Jason Chatfield. This guy does everything, and he's a stand-up comic.
No, it's just one talent. It's making stuff out of thin air and passing it off as a job.
I can barely do...
Kit knows all about that.
I can barely do one thing. Kit can do one thing. Kit can do two things.
I'm doing one of them now. You just can't see because of the where I...
That is That's
he can do two things. He can do vodka and enemas.
Keep the camera up.
That's all you need.
That's all you need. So for comedy stuff, what are people watching right now? Like what's a show? Because I've streamed and binged everything. The most recent thing that I started watching is Search Party on HBO Max, which is a couple of years old. And I really enjoy it, and it has like a mystery to it, and that's fun. I'm just on season 10 of the first season of that. It's kind of this ridiculous.
Wait, season 10? Wait, there's how many seasons?
Episode 10 of season 1.
Oh, okay, cool.
So Search Party's good, and I've watched everything else.
Where
on television.
The other two, Julie and I are waiting for the other two to come back, and from what I understand, it's going to go straight to HBO Max instead of Central. But that was one of our favorite shows from a couple of years ago. It's called The Other Two, about the brother and sister of like a Justin Bieber type.
Right.
Oh yeah, I did see the pilot of that. That looked pretty good.
Very, very funny, and we thought it had been canceled, but apparently a new season is going to be coming straight to HBO Max here, I guess this next year.
Boy, they're really snapping everything up, that HBO Max.
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason to go anywhere. I mean, not that there ever was a reason to leave your house, but now that you can't, all the movies, all the TV shows coming straight to you, I guess.
And they finally got HBO Max got their Roku app to work. It wouldn't work for like the past 6 months. They launched and then it wouldn't work, and then you had to watch HBO Max like on your phone or on your computer, and then they were like, if you went to their website, they were like, it's really easy to watch HBO Max on your TV. You just have to take this cord and then you hook it into your computer, and then you have to route it, all this stuff, and then you have to kind of stand there holding your computer next to your TV, and it's not easy, and it was very frustrating. So you had to pretty much just watch everything on your phone, which is fine, but if you tried to like share your phone to the big TV, it wouldn't let you, it would block it. And so now the Roku app does work for HBO Max, so now you can start watching everything again. I just watched The Flight Attendant, which is really good.
Yeah. I have
which
that
is
here
really
to watch.
good. Yeah, that was great. Rosie Perez is in it, and it's really it's intriguing. It's a mystery, and it's got a little bit more also like some psychological stuff. So it's not just like a straight mystery. There's things wrong with her, and there's stuff in her head, and it's good. It's good.
It's a comedy?
What?
It's a comedy.
It's not a comedy. It's like a mystery. It's just a mystery.
Wait, is it funny mystery?
I think it was kind of funny. It had light-hearted jokes to it, but it was much more. It was more serious.
I couldn't tell from the.
Yeah. Well, it's fun.
One show that I highly recommend to both of you, people who like comedy, particularly just something a bit different that you haven't seen before, is a show from a bunch of my fellow Australian expat comics from Melbourne. They're called Auntie Donna's Boys. And Auntie Donna, it's 3 comedians, and they're kind of absurdist, I guess, if you could put them in a box, and it's a limited Netflix series. I think it's only 6 episodes. It's called Auntie Donna's Big Old House of Fun or something.
It's sketch comedy.
It's kind of sketch comedy, but there's narrative to it, but there's not. It's kind of a real. It's just a scattergun. It's just funny, and honestly, I don't laugh at comedy anymore. I don't know about you guys, but I can't watch specials anymore because they're just so the same. I mean, even friends of mine who have specials who I'm like, congrats on the special. I noticed you opened with your closer, They always, they put the funniest joke at the front in the first 10 minutes so people don't switch off.
Well, it's like having sex if you work in porn, I've been doing this all day.
It's exactly like that. Not that I would know. Oh, I'm pulling up a photo of the front of the. This is the New Yorker cartoon calendar.
Oh boy.
And this is Jason Shaffield's cartoon, made the cover of the New Yorker cartoon calendar.
Oh wow. So
this is actually a cartoon that caused a lot of controversy, and you got a lot of blowback about this cartoon. So, if people, I have it up on the screen, but if you can't see it, it's two different entrances to a gym, and there's a guy going into one door and a woman going into another door, and there's a sign above the first door that says actual exercise, and then a sign over the other one that says sit on equipment and stare at your phone. And it got a lot of reaction. He got a lot of reaction.
What you're not mentioning is that the room that the man is walking into of actual exercise is an African American woman and an Asian American woman, and in the room that the woman is walking into is an African American man and a Caucasian man, and they're sitting on equipment staring at their phones. I made extra sure to cover every base so no one could get offended. And yet, I had death threats. I had my wife, like people looked up my wife on Facebook and started sending her threats. It was crazy for no reason.
Wow. Well, it's because of the representation of just the man and the woman are the first things you see, and then you have to dig. You got to dig deep in here to see the other ones. So it's like,
but there's no nuance anymore. No one cares about nuance or detail or anything. It's just the first thing, and they just like reflexively react. And even so, we had the conversation. Emma Allen, the cartoon editor of the New Yorker, we had the conversation because I had it around the other way originally.
Really?
And, in the draft, in the rough that I sold. And when I drew it up, we really had that conversation. And it's like, I don't know, as long as everyone's sort of, represented in the image, it's fine. But it really did cause a stir. It is kind of, for lack of a better word, as they say in Australia, shit stirring, to put it on the cover of the calendar, because now everyone's going to be like, I can't believe you put this on the cover of the calendar. Hopefully a lot of people get it for a Christmas present. So
I think they will.
It's a weird one.
Have you gotten in trouble for cartoons before?
Me or Kit?
You. Well, Kit obviously has. Like, I don't even have to ask Kit. Like, it's interesting because Kit draws things that are so offensive that like people have just given up. I feel like there's some people that they're so offensive all the time. Like this is the same with comics. Like some comics can, like if you're Jim Jeffries and you're just like all the time being Jim Jeffries, people are like, well, I'm not even gonna bother objecting because it's like
it's too much to sweep up.
Yeah, it's too much. It's just like forget it. But then if you have like one person doing one thing and it's like maybe not the kind of thing they always do, then people can jump all over you. But yeah, kids' cartoons are always offensive, so people aren't going to waste their time. They're just going to laugh.
I've worked up a callus to people.
He did something.
I don't know if you've worked up a callus to people or people have worked up a callus to you.
I just know that there's rough, bumpy skin involved, and that's all I really care about.
It's funny because when Mad was in California, I got a lot of stuff. Like when it was in New York, I remember hearing stories of stuff that would get thrown out, but it wasn't because of bad taste. It was because it just wasn't funny enough.
Right.
But there was stuff that when Mad went to California, I was pitching every day, and some stuff would get through to a certain level, and then it'd get killed because it'd be like, I might offend these people. That might be too much trouble for what it's worth. And I'm like, come on, it's Mad. What are you, nuts? Yeah, did you ever get that, Kid?
Yes, absolutely. I had that happen quite like you said. I was pitching every day as well, and you're right. They would just ding you on things that wouldn't even occur to you as something that might be offensive to someone. They were coming at it from such an interesting angle, I feel like.
Yeah.
Or they're looking for that exact only hole, like in the joke. Like maybe everything's great, and then there's like one little possibility of like maybe this could be misconstrued by somebody, and I'm afraid to take any chance for that 1% of possibility to happen. And that's kind of tough. Like if you won't take the chance, if you're like, let's go for it. And I feel like that doesn't happen as much now. People are afraid to go for it because they don't want the blowback, because the blowback is swift and it's everywhere. It's not just like someone writing you a letter. It's like people want to like destroy your entire life, and they want you to, die, and they want you to lose your job. And it's like, well, I just made the. It's like, well, why'd you pick that cartoon? It's like, I like the cat, honestly, in the cartoon. It's really adorable. I had a huge blind spot on why this was not a good cartoon. So, yeah, that's interesting. I mean, your gym cartoon is very not offensive, especially if you go to a gym. Like, if you're a person who goes to a gym, this is a very true cartoon. Like, there's nothing untrue about this cartoon. The gym. Yeah.
I was on a piece of equipment on my phone writing that gag. Like, I was the guy in the other room. I was the guy sitting on the equipment looking at my phone. And I realized that's a lot of my jokes are that. Just me realizing what an idiot I am half the time. And then I looked around, and then I realized that everybody else I looked at was on their phone. There were even people on like pull down machines, and like everyone who was sitting was looking at their phone. And granted, maybe 20% of them might have been looking at like a Fitbit app or something, or a workout app, or a notes, or I don't know. But most of them were on Instagram. And I thought, everyone must be noticing this. Like, everyone at other gyms must be noticing this. And I bounced it off someone I write with a lot called Scott. He's a comedian. You know Scott Dooley.
Scott Dooley. Yeah, he's funny.
Yeah. We used to do a podcast together called Is There Something in This? Where we just basically, it was like a writer's meeting, just bounce ideas around and joke. And I ran it past him and I said, is this a thing? Are people noticing that everyone's just going to the gym to sit on equipment and scroll through Instagram? He's like, absolutely. He's like, every gym is that now. And I'm like, okay, so I'm not going crazy. So when I pitched it, it was only kind of really just becoming ubiquitous. And then by the time it ran, because when you sell it, you sell it, and then you never know when it's going to run.
Yeah.
And when it ran, it just hit at the right time and point, and it just exploded. And everyone misinterpreted the whole point of the cartoon.
I drew a cartoon up in like 2010, and I never did anything with it, but it was more about the only place I went to watch cable television was the gym.
Right.
I didn't have cable. And I didn't, and like I was too cheap to do any of these things. So the cartoon was a fat guy wearing a Hawaiian shirt and flip-flops, and he had takeout food on the ground, and his legs were up.
That's great.
His legs were up on the bicycle. And everyone else is doing like the Peloton type bicycle, and his feet are up, and he's watching TV, and he goes, "I'm only here for the cable and the Wi-Fi."
That's a great joke. You gotta have that up somewhere. That's funny.
I penciled it up, but I never did a finish. So I'll do a finish. I'll dig it up, and I'll do a finish.
That's funny.
I'll run it by you before I send it anywhere. I'll just put it up at Weekly Humorist. We don't have standards
in Hawaii or something.
Exactly. The Hawaiian shirt could definitely.
I just drew Kit while we were talking.
Hold on. I'm gonna put that on the screen so people can. That's beautiful. It's a beautiful drawing.
He's saying, "I just had a vodka and I'm a Monday."
If Alfred Hitchcock were in The Clash,
Oh, that's wonderful. I think that's a great ending to a humorist hangout, I think. This was a lot of fun.
Exclamation point.
Well, thank you all for coming on to the Humorist Hangouts and talking about comedy and cartoons and Weekly Humorist. And I'll have to have a bunch of... I have a Jason Chatfield cartoon that I'm running, I believe, this week in Weekly Humorist. So we'll have to get that up. And happy holidays to both of you. And,
Thanks,
and I'll see you all soon. Thanks for coming on the big show. And
bye, guys.
Happy holidays, Merry everything.
Everybody has to follow people at their names. So we have at Jason Chatfield, at Kit Lively on Twitter, and then you can find everybody on Instagram. Thanks so much, guys. It was wonderful to see you.
Thanks, buddies.
All right, bye-bye.
Thanks. See you, gang. Bye.
And Jason actually hung up on the phone, so it wasn't even like a pretend video hang-up. He actually hung up.
He had enough fun.
He did. Well, thanks for watching, and thanks for hanging out. This is Humorous Hangouts. I'm Marty Dundix, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye. That's funny. Hey, Kit.
Hey.
I love it. That was a lot of fun.
It was a good time. Again, my apologies. I apologize for misunderstanding our time.